Okay, if you're just joining us, we're going to go ahead and get the webinar started here. Today we're talking about the barriers to church counseling, talking about how to get past those barriers and provide resources for healing, especially amongst members of our congregation that may not be open to the idea of counseling, but we're going to talk more about that in a minute. Excited to have everyone here joining us. Looks like we got people here from Knoxville, we got California represented, Buffalo, Bakersfield. Wow, we've got people from all over. That's great. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Rick and Melvin and Sue and Barry and Mason and Wendy and Chad and Crystal. Welcome, Charles. Welcome, Jennifer. Jennifer from Mississippi. Welcome, welcome, David from California. Welcome, Linda from Tampa. We got Armando coming here. We got Amy. We got people still pouring in from all over the country. Excited to have all of you here today. We're going to have a great presentation. And if you're still just joining us, go ahead and drop the location you're in, where you're coming from in the chat box. Feel free to do so. We're going to go ahead and get started, though. Thank you for all patiently waiting. I hope you've had a chance to grab a glass of water. We'll try and keep this definitely under an hour. I respect your time, and I appreciate you taking the time to be with me here today. I think it's going to be a great webinar. I think you're going to walk away with some great, useful, tangible, usable stuff here. So let's go ahead and dive in here. Why this webinar? So really who this webinar is for is pastors and counselors in churches. So if you're involved in pastoral counseling or Christian counseling inside of a church right now, you have found the right place. This is definitely the webinar for you. We're going to be talking about why so many church members are afraid to ask for help and a simple strategy we're using to get help to the members that need it. We're going to be talking about the growing problem of mental health in our society, the integral role of counseling in evangelism and discipleship, and why really a large segment of believers are never going to ask us for help. How you can break down those barriers and provide real healing. Before I go any further, I'm going to talk about me for just a moment. My name is Aaron Mills. I am the director of Awesome here at True Life Incorporated. We have, of course, truelife.org. It's our evangelism program if you've not heard about it. The webinar about it today is not about that program. I will touch on it at the very end if you're interested to see where you can learn a little bit more. But I am the director of Awesome over here. What I do is I help us communicate better to our audience, and I've been working with counselors for a long time. I helped create one of the original versions of eCounseling.com many years ago. I worked with addiction treatment centers down in the addiction treatment mecca of South Florida. I've also worked with large counseling practices, and just helping them better communicate to the people they serve and reach the people they serve. A little tidbit about me: I am actually a nomad, which is kind of a odd thing. So I'm not retired. I'm not independently wealthy and traveling. What I am, though, is my wife and I decided about a year ago to go ahead and get rid of the house and most of our stuff. And we've been on the road for almost a year now. So I guess we started this process maybe a year and a half ago. Time flies by so quickly. But yeah, we have 3 small children. We decided, you know what? I work remotely. I've been working remotely for many years. Why not hit the road, travel the country, and show the kids all the amazing things our country has to offer? So we've been doing that, and it's been really a blessing and exciting. I'm joining you here today, actually from upstate New York, but we've been all over in the last year. We've been to California and Texas and Florida and Arizona and just and almost all these many places in between. So that just a note about me that you probably wouldn't have known otherwise. So let's dive into this, though, guys. Church views on counseling. Now, this is a really important statistic because it really is, to me, I think this was eye-opening when I saw it. When believers were polled, we found that 28% said they would never be willing to go to counseling. So while you had 13% of adults say they've seen a counselor or a therapist, and 17% say that a family member's seen one, 28% of them said that family members would be completely unwilling to see a counselor, and 23% of them admitted themselves that they were not open to the idea. So let that sink in for a minute. Nearly a third of believers either believe their family members or they themselves are unwilling to go to counseling. It's just not something that they would view as an option. So where do people find counseling? And when we talk about Christians, we're talking about Um, Really, it's 97% of the time it's somewhere other than church. So while most people are getting a recommendation from a doctor, in a lot of instances they were prescribed something like antidepressants. They're complaining of maybe sleep issues or mood related issues or some other kind of mental health related problem. So churches can play a bigger role. And the top factors we find when people are choosing a counselor is number one is cost, and then number two would be their expertise. People really want to find access that's affordable to high quality counseling. In fact, the more money individuals had, the more income they had, we found that they're much more interested in the expertise. But the number one factor across the board for most people was the cost. So why do people go to counseling? Why are people starting counseling? A recommendation by a pastor is only accounting for 4% of the situations that prompted people to start counseling. And if you match that up with the number of people who are basically required by the church they're in to do premarital counseling before they can get married, it's just that same 4%. So it appears that the church, as a church, we've gotten really good at making sure people get into premarital counseling, but we are not really directing people to counseling for the many, many other reasons that people might potentially need it. So churches are not really recommending counseling, even in cases of mental illness, trauma, and significant life changes and marital problems. Doctors' recommendations are accounting for 30%, while trauma accounts for another 28%. So let's talk for a minute about how discipleship and counseling are related, because this is something you may not have considered. But people dealing with anxiety, anger, forgiveness, depression, lust, grief, and a whole bunch of other issues, they're facing a major roadblock to becoming the disciple they're meant to be, right? How can we expect people to be effective Christians, to reach the community when they don't have their own life in order? Right? How are they going to be the servants and leaders that we want them to, we expect them to be, if they're stuck dealing with blank, right? So if you're a believer and you have serious problems with anxiety or anger or forgiveness or lust or grief or some of these other issues, that is something standing in the road potentially between you and becoming the disciple that you could be. So for many people, the first step down the road towards discipleship is really getting healing in their own personal, mental, and emotional and relational health. Now, evangelism also ties into this. Another thing you may not have considered. People who are visiting your church that are new or potentially if they're a new Christian, they're going to bring issues along with them, right? They could bring issues of lust, addiction, abuse, anger, depression, and other scars just from living a sinful life in a sinful world. So a lot of pastors I talk with know this. New Christians bring scars with them. And so the faster your church is growing, the more scars pastors are potentially having to deal with, right? So we're talking about taking someone out of a sinful life, and then that transition into living a Christian life is not necessarily going to be instant or immediate. So if we are the evangelistic growing church that we want to be in many cases, that means we're having all of these issues potentially brought into our church. And what we don't want is people who have, like, for instance, we don't want someone who has a really unhealthy relationship to be mentoring some other new Christian that just came into the church on their marriage, right? Just the same thing. We don't want people who have a serious issue in their life that's unresolved to be the role model for some other person that's come in that's new, that's after them. What we need to do is have resources for new Christians in that case, and a mentor is not necessarily always going to appear immediately. So here at True Life, we think magic is not the answer. So have you ever heard that the Holy Spirit will transform a person's life once they're saved? Well, we agree that that's true, and we have lots of living examples that we personally know where God has really transformed someone's life, where they became a believer in Christ, and then there was this amazing transformation that took place. But that transformation generally took some time, right? Those living examples that we know didn't get that transformation in a day. And God put godly men and women into their lives, and in many cases, Christian counselors into their lives, so that transition could happen. Other Christians helped provide those people the tools they needed to make that huge transition from being, say, a drug dealer to a pastor, or from being a prostitute to a loving mother, or maybe a sex addict to a devoted husband and father. What these people need, though, is they need a doorway, right? A third of Christians who are not open to counseling, they're not perfect people. Most people can benefit from counseling in their lives in one issue or another, right? Can't we all admit that we need guidance from other people from time to time? So why do people not get the counseling they need? And why is that such a shameful thing to so many people? So only 6% of people who've had counseling said it was a negative experience. So people going into a counseling experience and coming out of that and then telling their friends and family it was such a terrible thing, that's a pretty rare thing. Very few people are really get into counseling or any kind of mental health help and then think that was a bad thing. While at the same time, 47% said the experience was very positive. So nearly half of people who get involved in any counseling at all have a very, very positive reaction to that. So you've got a whole bunch of people that are open to the idea. Doctors are recommending it. It's helpful for both discipleship. It's critical for our evangelism. And most people who get counseling have a good experience. And nearly half of them have an exceptional experience. Then why do a large number of people who could really benefit from counseling not get counseling? So what do you guys think? I'm going to put a quick poll up on the screen so you guys can see what the issues you think are. What are the reasons? Like, what do you guys think? Why would someone not get counseling? It's obviously something that could be really a great benefit to their life, especially if they're dealing with any of those issues we talked about. And all of us are likely to deal with some kind of issue in our life at some point. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that up for a second, but let's just go ahead and dive into the answers, because the truth is that all of the different answers I showed you on that poll, all of them potentially are a reason why someone could not get counseling. So let's just dive through those real quick. There's not necessarily there's just one right answer here. The problem is that there's a lot of right answers, right? So here are the reasons. Guys, people, they don't know where to start. A lot of them just don't know how do we even, get started doing something like that. Or maybe they don't even consider it, right? That's not even something that has come into their mind as an option. A lot of them are going to think, what are my friends going to say if they find out that I'm in counseling or therapy? What's my family going to say? What if I'm not sure I believe in it? And we, I'm assuming if you're with me here today, you're probably a believer in the power of counseling as being a positive force and a good thing and a healthy thing. And it's hard for us sometimes who have been around the mental health field for a while, who know what a great thing it is to confront these issues in our lives and deal with them and tackle them, and what a great difference it makes. It's hard for us to imagine there might be people out there who don't feel that way, or they're not even sure this is real, right? In their mind, this is kind of like, it's some kind of quackery, it's some kind of nonsense. But there are people out there like that who think that. And there's other people who think, I'm functional. If it gets worse, then maybe I'll do something about it, right? I'm functional, but if it gets worse, maybe I'll do something about it. Or I'm intelligent, I'm successful, I'm good looking, I'm wealthy, I'm educated, etc., etc. Counseling is for losers. And it's sad to think this opinion's out there, but there are people who feel that way. They feel like that, they're kind of maybe too good for that. That's not something that they would need. That's for other people. Right? Or hey, maybe I can deal with this on my own. I don't need help. And I think a lot of us feel that way about issues in our lives, and then when we do get counseling, we realize, oh my gosh, I should have done this so much sooner, right? I remember when I was a young man, I really was not sure that marriage and family and all of that stuff was really for me. It just seemed like such a big commitment, and it was so scary. Now that I'm married and have kids, and years later, all I can think to myself is, man, why did I do that sooner? It was the best thing in the world. And here's a big one, guys. I don't want to tell my pastor what's going on in my life, right? It's easy for us not to think about this, but, for a lot of people, their pastor is someone they really look up to. And that's not a bad thing. We want people to look up to the pastor of their church. But is it healthy if that's to a point where they're afraid to be honest about what's going on in their life? The other issue is that people, a lot of times, they're at a church that doesn't even offer counseling. And if you're in a ministry right now and you can't offer counseling, I understand that. And I'm not ragging on you when I bring this up, because there's a lot of ministries that pastors are bivocational, or they just wear a lot of hats. So there's only so much time in the day. There's only so much one person can do. And sometimes offering counseling just isn't in the cards. Whether it's just a lack of training in that field or it's just a matter of time and resources, there's a lot of churches that just can't offer counseling. And the kind of an obvious one, guys, is that, you know what, I'm too embarrassed to admit that I've got problems. And here's one that I think that a lot of people also in churches that I've talked to maybe haven't considered before is that, you know what, I'm in a position of leadership and I'm afraid I could lose my position. Right, and this is not so much, I mean, this could be the pastor, but, a lot of pastors are taught to have other pastors to go and talk to you about these kinds of issues. But what about the worship leader? Right? What about the leader of the men's group or the small group or the women's group or the person who's in a small lesser role in the church but still in a leadership position? That person might feel like they're in a position where if people knew what was going on with me, I could lose my position, and that prevents them from getting the help they need. So another question, guys, do people actually need help? Do people really need help? In the last 50 years, the number of people on antidepressants has gone from 1.8% to 10%. Now, part of what's happening there is they discovered a whole new class of drugs they can prescribe people that are safer for depression. So it's not that we have a whole new group of people who are more depressed than before. That could be happening, but that's not necessarily what this statistic is telling us. But what it's telling us, though, is that 1 in 10 people in the population is on antidepressants, right? That means that 1 in 10 people was honest enough with their doctor that they got prescribed something to deal with something going on in their mental health. 1 in 5 adults in the United States is going to experience mental illness this year. That means there are people in the podcast in the webinar with us today. There's people here today with us who are going to have a mental health issue this year, right? Because we kind of as a society have demonized this whole concept of mental health. Sadly, we've made people who have mental health problems like kind of the bad guy, but guys, we're all going to deal with stuff at some time or another. Right? 18.1% of adults in the United States experiences anxiety disorders such as PTSD or OCD. That's post-traumatic stress disorder or obsessive compulsive disorder. That's 18.1%. That's like 20% of the population, guys. Out of the 20 million adults with an addiction, half of them have a co-occurring mental disorder, which means they also either have like depression or anxiety or some other mental health disorder like a mood disorder. So you'll find in the addicted population, which is a huge percentage of our population, of our culture, really, half of them have some other kind of mental disorder. And that's so what you find is a lot of times people who have an addiction are trying to medicate themselves for some other kind of issue that they're dealing with, some underlying problem. And then the problem with addiction is that once you get into that cycle, you may create additional mental health issues in your life. Now, 41% of adults experiencing mental health disorders are going to get some kind of care. Only 41%. So less than half of the people who are experiencing a mental disorder are going to get some kind of treatment this year. And mood disorders like depression and bipolar are the third most common reason for hospitalization for adults 18 to 44. Now we talk about heart disease and we talk about cancer and we talk about, kind of the leading causes for people to be in the hospital. But I bet a lot of people probably haven't considered that the third most common reason for an adult to be in the hospital is something like depression or bipolar. That's a huge problem in our society. And every day, guys, this is a very sobering statistic. It almost brings me to tears every time I tell somebody this. But every day, 18 to 22 veterans are going to die by their own hand. So everyone experiences times of trouble, right? Everyone's going to experience grief from the loss of a loved one at some point, depression and anxiety from a job loss or financial trouble. That's a universal thing that all of us humans deal with. And we can all learn to be better fathers, better mothers and husbands, wives, parents, and children. Nearly everyone knows someone dealing with a serious addiction. And pornography has affected nearly every family in the United States in one way or another. We're finding right now, the studies coming out of high schools, that by the time a kid reaches the age of 18 and they're coming out of high school, if they're a male, then there's over 90% chance they're using hardcore pornography every week. And if they're a female, there's over a 60% chance they're using hardcore pornography at least once a week. So this is an epidemic level problem in our society, right? And secular culture is making it less of an issue for people to have you know, guilt and all the shame and all the things that would be natural. We made it less. We made everyone less sensitive to immorality. Immorality's just become kind of okay. And guys, a lot of us just carry on the scars of past sin, right? We have lack of forgiveness or relationship problems or abuse or addiction or family struggles in our past, and we're carrying that forward into the future. But not everyone's willing to seek help, guys. Not everyone knows they could benefit from help. We need to make getting access to help easier. And when we remove the most common barriers, such as shame and cost and embarrassment, more people are going to get help sooner. So, we ask ourselves, what if we had a secret solution? And at True Life Org, our whole goal here is to make, we create tools for ministry. That's our job. We're not a ministry out there on boots on the ground. We're the ones trying to help the boots on the ground have what they need to be more effective. And when we think about this problem, we think about, well, what if we could create like kind of this ultimate secret solution to solving these issues? And how can we help more people get access to help, right? So what if we can give people help they needed without all those barriers, right? What about those people who are being tempted to make a bad decision but haven't made it yet? The people who are dealing with one of these issues that could lead them down a very bad road, but they're just at the beginning of that process. They're what if we could help them before things got out of control, right? What if we could help somebody's marriage before the damage was irreversible? What if we could help someone struggling with lust before it really just destroyed their family? Or what if we could help someone who's struggling with addiction before that addiction took them so far down the road that they've done permanent damage to themselves and their family? What if we could help someone who's depressed before they are even considering suicide, right? So what if we could help these people take a first step that didn't involve talking to anybody? And wouldn't that person be more likely to ask for help if they saw that counseling actually works? Wouldn't those people be more likely to explore the help that we've offered if it was easy and they could do it in secret? So how would you build that? How would you create a solution like that? So our approach is we think, what if we created a series of videos that had all the most common counseling topics in it, right? And we created a website where people could access all those videos without anybody knowing about it. And then we linked them to professional local Christian counselors that can help their members out and encourage people who need to get help from the pulpit. Right, so we could make it instead of mental health being kind of a quiet thing no one talks about, we could make it a thing that we talk about on a regular basis from the pulpit, from the church website, from the bulletins, etc. But that's not the only thing, guys. What if we could do that? We could use that video library we created, right? We create all these videos on popular Christian, popular counseling topics. What if we use that to augment our own counseling practices? So we could use those videos to refer people to those videos that we wanted them to watch, right? We could assign those as homework, or maybe before your first session, you could please go watch this video. We could refer back to that library of content, and we could also use that to get our own ideas for counseling sessions we're about to have with insight and ideas we may not have otherwise even thought of. But what would be better than that is we create that library, but instead of just us creating those videos, what if we can get some of the most well-known, respected counselors and therapists to speak out in those videos for us? And what if we could update and improve that video library over time by partnering with a big group like the American Association of Christian Counselors? So that's that whole concept is exciting to me, right? Imagine if you guys had to create videos on 20 or 30 topics. How much time would that take? What if there are over 50 videos on nearly every major counseling topic? Or maybe even 70 or 80 videos on each, on each of the major counseling topics. What would it be worth, guys, to save one marriage? What would it be worth to prevent one suicide? To help one member of our church become a better parent? Or one person who's been struggling with forgiveness to finally learn to forgive? So can we all agree something like that would be priceless? Can you guys give me a hashtag amen in the chat box? If you think that would be, if we had a resource like that, if we create that would be really something that would have a lot of value to bring to your church. Just give me a hashtag amen. And if you're not keen on hashtags, that's just a pound symbol with the word after it. Thank you guys. I see people are putting it in there. Awesome. Yeah, we think that this is an exciting idea. So for the last 2 years, Dr. Mercy Connors and Jesse Connors, the founder of True Life, they've been working with our friend over at the American Association of Christian Counselors, Tim Clinton, to create this solution. When we brought this idea to him, he saw the immediate value of this, and we thought we had a real opportunity to create something that could provide real healing for church members, right? We want to help you guys save a ton of time, help prevent, pastors wear so many hats. Anything we can do to give you more tools to prevent burnout, to help more people without having to invest even more energy and emotion. We thought that would be a really big win for most pastors, and it's something that the church could really benefit from. So before I show you guys this, can you guys agree this has the potential to help your church? Oh, and I guess I did the hashtag amen a little soon, right? He's telling me, give us an amen in the chat box. Well, you've already done that. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you guys this tool. I'm really excited because we think this tool has a potential to reach a lot of people. We created TrueLife.org, our evangelism program. We knew that it had potential to do things that we wouldn't get to know about. And that's one of the things that always got us excited. It still does, right? We have thousands of churches involved in that program, and we get stories every day from people whose lives have been impacted by creating that tool. People who have, watched our video on abortion, or people who watched our video on Mormonism, or they've watched, a video on some question that they had about the Bible, and it's made this dramatic impact in their life. And that really is a very warm, heartfelt moment for us when we get to see the impact that has. When I think about the impact this tool might have on the ministries that we're involved with out there, it really gets me I get like the tingly hair on the back of my neck standing up, because I think that the potential for this to help people who really are not going to get help otherwise, who really, guys, they're stuck in a place that, it reminds me of that saying, it's really good not to get frustrated people when you're driving on the road, right? You're driving down the highway and you see somebody passing you by, and maybe they cut you off, or they give you a dirty look, or they take that parking space. It's really good to set back and just give them the benefit of the doubt, because of the saying that, hey, every person you meet is fighting a war you know nothing about, right? Well, our church members are fighting a war that a lot of us know nothing about. And if we can give them more tools to fight that war and overcome what the enemy is doing in their lives, that could be huge, right? I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, right? So before I show you guys, I just wanted you to understand the level of excitement we have, right? Because the pastors we've already shown this to, and the churches that we've just got involved with this are as excited as we are, and I think you're going to be excited too. So let's go ahead. Let me show you this tool. Okay, let me get this video. So this is a video by the founder of TrueLife.org, Jesse Connors, who a lot of you probably know, and his wife, Dr. Mercy Connors. And this kind of explains exactly what we're doing here in a nutshell.
Pastor, I am sure that many times you've been approached by a member of your church family and they've told you about a personal crisis that they're going through, and you realize this would have been averted if they just would have told you sooner.
You see, many church members are embarrassed to go to counseling, which often delays the help that they need and makes the problem worse.
This is why we are so excited to introduce to you a new counseling tool for your church called TrueLifeCare.org.
By providing your church members with a username and password for TrueLifeCare.org on a bulletin insert, they will have access to a comprehensive library of high-quality films on counseling topics produced by the American Association of Christian Counselors, or TrueLife.org. These biblically sound counseling videos, which are often an hour, can be viewed anonymously anywhere and at any time.
Introducing TrueLifeCare.org to your church is easy. Simply hand out your bulletin insert with your church's username and password, and during the service, play the 2-minute introductory video. This allows TrueLifeCare.org to work 24 hours a day and 7 days a week to provide counseling care.
So we hope that you are grasping a vision for TrueLifeCare.org. This tool can also be used in your counseling sessions and in your discipleship groups.
That's right. Also, there's a 30-day free trial. Just click on the free trial button. Pastor, we love your people too. We love them, and we know this is going to help them because it certainly has helped us.
Be one step ahead of the problems that your church members are facing. Join TrueLifeCare.org today.
All right. So that is what we're doing here at True Life Care. Guys, we've set this up so that we wanted to make sure every church could get access to this tool. So the pricing is very, very affordable. Let me go ahead and bring up the website here so you can actually see how we've got the pricing structured, so you don't have to leave here to see the pricing. So if you want to find this pricing for yourself, you just go to truelifecare.org, and you could do that after the webinar here. But if you just click on pricing and free trial here, we're going to see the actual pricing for ministries of different sizes. So we've broken this down based on your weekly average attendance of your church, right? So if you're a church that regularly has 100 to 200 people coming every week, then you can see it's just $65.99 a month or $659 for the year. So when you sign up yearly, you're going to get a whole 16% off of that. And don't leave yet, guys, because we have a special offer that we want to present to you just for joining us in the webinar. We're going to give you an additional discount on top of that. So it's going to be something that's going to be an even better deal than what you're seeing. But as you can see, it's very affordable, right? If you're a church of under 49 members, it's just $29.99 a month, or $2.99 for the whole year. And so with that, your whole church is going to get access to this tool. We've got over 70 categories right now, and that's building. So it's not just 70 videos, but over 70 categories. So the number of videos that we're creating is really astounding. The quality, I think you're going to be blown away by the quality of these videos. Many of these videos are more than an hour long. And they have just amazing speakers taking a very delicate approach to the issues that we're talking about. It's everything from addiction to grief to struggle in your marriage. We've got stuff in here that, if you can't go through this library and find something that you think could help you, I would be amazed, right? I know personally, all of us in the team, when we've looked at it, all of us have found some kind of video that we thought would be helpful in our own lives to be watching. So when you share this with your church, you're going to find it's got something for everybody. Everybody can be touched by this tool. So as I said, today we're going to offer you an additional 25% off for signing up for today, right? Just by being a part of this webinar, you're going to get an additional 25% off. So it's not just the 16%, it's the 16% plus the 25%. Now that's as long as you go with that yearly plan, guys. That's a 41% discount for taking advantage of that offer today. So if this is something you want to see in your church, you think this could help people in your ministry, which I believe it can, then you're going to get it today for 41% off. But guys, if that was not enough, right? If you sign up today, before the end of this webinar, if you can get signed up before the end of this webinar today, you're also offering 7 nights, 8 days at a resort. So we've partnered with TrueLife.org, and this is their gift to you for taking part in this, taking part of this new program. The reason we're able to do that, because this sounds kind of almost too good to be true, obviously. So 7 days, 8 nights, 7 nights, 8 days at a resort. We've got over 3,500 locations to choose from. How can we possibly do that? What we've done is we've partnered with a travel agency. We have a list of these resorts. All these resorts, guys, they have empty rooms all the time, right? They've always got empty rooms. It's not an issue of whether these rooms exist. They're always going to have some empty rooms. And they know that by partnering with a group like us, if we can give you guys a stay in one of these resorts, then there's a good chance you're not going to pay for the room, but you are going to pay for something else while you're there. Because most of these resorts are going to have like a restaurant or a spa or other things to do on the resort. And they know that there's still a good chance they can make some money from that. So the only thing you've got to do, guys, is you've got to pay for the taxes and the resort fees. So basically, every location in the country, the local government wants to make some money when you come and stay there. So there's going to be taxes and some kind of resort fee that has to be paid during a stay. Otherwise, we can give these things away for completely free, which would be amazing. But guys, all the room fees, the big expense, we're taking care of that. All 7 nights are completely covered. You can choose from any one of 3,500 locations. You're going to have 18 months to use this. So you don't have to go out and use this next week or next month. And guys, these are fantastic resorts. You're going to have a ton of options to choose from. And there's no timeshare presentation you're going to have to watch. Now keep in mind, lots of these are definitely timeshare destinations, but you're not going to have to watch a timeshare presentation or listen to a salesman or any of that stuff. This is our gift to you. 7 nights, 8 days at a resort. If you can sign up today before the end of the webinar. Now guys, you're also going to get a $1,000 discount on a new church website from True Life Church Sites. Now this is obviously not everyone needs this. Some people have wonderful, amazing church websites, but we've known for a long time that there's a lot of churches out there that need a more professional appearance on the web that's going to give new visitors to their church a really good first impression. And there's a lot of turnkey church website builders out there that have these kind of cheap alternatives to a website that you got to kind of build yourself. Well, at True Life Church Sites, we wanted to provide custom church websites that are high quality, like what a business would be paying for, but we wanted to do it at a rate the churches could actually afford. And if you're going to be involved with True Life Care, we want to offer that to you at a $1,000 discount. With that, you're also going to get some free consulting and coaching on how to be using Facebook and Google to make sure you are seeing new visitors from your digital media each week. So you may not need this, but if you do, it's a huge bonus that is available there too if you sign up today. Now, guys, here's why this is so crazy. Here's why this is I don't understand. If you get off the webinar and you have not signed up for this, I do not understand. My only conclusion could be that this isn't a tool for you, right? This isn't something you think the church can need. And if that's the case, I probably haven't done a very good job of communicating what it is that we're offering you. But, guys, you're going to pay nothing for 30 days. If you sign up today, you're still going to get the 41% off on that yearly plan. You're still going to get that hotel voucher for your next vacation. You're still going to get the discount on the new website. And you can unenroll at any time. You know, talking about time, guys, this is going to save you thousands of hours in time and counseling over the potential years. If you're a pastor that's not offering counseling in your church, this is a way for you to provide a very powerful counseling resource right now and get more of your church members interested in counseling, getting the healing that they need. If you're already offering counseling, this is an amazing tool to bring in and augment your counseling practice with. Because not only is it going to save you time and provide additional resources for people, it's going to get people coming to see you in your counseling that potentially really needed it that never were willing to speak up before. So guys, you can unenroll at any time. Just to be very clear on what I'm saying here, when you sign up today, we're not going to bill your credit card for 30 days. So you can sign up today, take a look at it, check it out, go to your leadership if you need approval. And we understand if you guys need board approval for a decision like this, or you need to talk to some other leaders in your church, or maybe you're the church counselor and you're not the pastor and you need to get the approval of the pastor before you do this. Whatever the case may be, if there's a group decision that needs to be involved in this process, we understand that. You know, we've worked with thousands of churches over the years with our evangelism program. That's perfectly normal. We understand and accept that. But guys, if you sign up today, we're not going to bill your credit card for 30 days. You have time to go through that process. You have time to go get the approval that you need. And the worst thing that can happen is if they say no, or they say, you know what, we're not sure, we don't want to do this. The worst thing that can happen is you just cancel. And you will never have been billed anything. But you're still going to get to keep the vacation. You're still going to get to keep the new church website discount if you need it. So, if you sign up for the webinar ends, guys, you're going to get all the bonuses. You don't get charged for 30 days. You can cancel before the 30 days is up. There is zero risk, and you can still keep all the bonuses. So this is, with our evangelism program, we give people a guarantee. Hey, guys, when you sign up for our evangelism program and it doesn't, if you decide that this was a bad decision later, you basically can get your money back. When we sell people websites for their church, we let them know that if we can't build them a church website that they're really excited about and proud of, that we'll give them their money back. we're not even going to take your money. Okay, we don't even want your money until you've had 30 days to play with this tool and see how amazing this thing is. When you see this video content, you're going to be so excited that you found this. I know that I am just giddy with excitement for all the people that are going to be involved in this program, and all the people that's going to potentially reach, because I know that 6 months from now, a year from now, we're going to start getting a flood of stories back about the people's lives that were changed because we made this tool available to them. And that last 2 years of work that we did getting this thing ready is all going to be worth it. It's all going to be worth it. So to get that special offer, to claim that offer today, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a special code you can use. So let me show you how to do that. So we're back here. We're at the True Life Care website. And now I'm pushing this offer up on your screen as well, so you can actually just click on that offer to get here as well. Then I'll put it in the chat box too here in a minute, so you can get here. But it's just truelifecare.org. You click on pricing and free trial. Just find the church size that matches your weekly attendance. So if you're a church of just under 100, you would just come here, go to that yearly option, click the button. It's going to take us to our checkout page here. All right, so that's loading up for us. So once we're here, now we've already got the 16% off. We're going to add another 25% off by adding True 25 and applying that coupon. And you're going to see coupon code applied successfully. And you can see here we've removed $99.75 from this plan. So we added another 25% off. So that went from the $399 all the way down to the $299 a year. And so once again, that coupon code is True 25. So I'm just going to highlight that. You can see that here in the window. True 25, all lowercase, TRUE 25. I'll put that in the chat box for you as well, just so you can see that. But all you got to do is just find the plan that matches your church. Come over here, put in True 25, apply that coupon. And now, guys, again, this is a 30-day trial. So when you proceed to the checkout here, it's going to take your information, and we're going to take your credit card, but we're not going to charge it for a whole month. So if you have a leader, if you need to talk to if you're the pastor, you need to talk to your wife, or you need to talk to the elders, or you need to talk to a board, or if you're maybe you're the associate pastor or the worship pastor, or whatever your case is, if you need to talk to somebody else first before you sign up, guys, take advantage of the bonuses today. You're going to get 25% off of the additional, we're already giving 16% off. We're going to give you an additional 25% off. You're going to get the vacation. You're going to get the discount on the church website if you need it. Guys, that discount for the church website is valid for a year. So even if it's not something you need to use until early next year, you're still going to have it in your back pocket. And then go show them what we're doing here. Show them a replay of this webinar if you need to. We're happy to, if you have questions for us, we're happy to get on the phone with you and explain, answer any questions that you may have. But guys, get signed up. And if it's a no, it's okay. Just cancel. It's really easy. just cancel before your 30 days is up. You never will have been charged anything. You get to keep all the bonuses. But I think, guys, that once you show this to anyone else in your church, they're going to be excited about it. And you're going to have people using this thing anonymously immediately. Now, if you want to see the video that we show to the church when we first introduced this, the beautiful thing about this, guys, is it only takes a moment to introduce this tool. It only takes a moment. So we have this, if you come here to just truelifecare.org, you'll see we have that pastor intro video. That's what we watched earlier with Jesse and Mercy. You can come watch that video or show that video to somebody else. Then we've also got the church intro video. So this is the video that we're going to show to the church when we first launched this. So you'll see the video is just only a couple minutes long. So if you put it insert in your bulletin, giving them all the username and password, you showed this video, it's a couple minutes long, and you talk about why it's important for people to get help if they need it, and there's no shame in that. Then you've launched it. It is a really, really easy tool to launch in your church that people can start taking advantage of that day. This thing is on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. when someone is having an issue because they're lonely and depressed on Christmas Eve, this thing is here for them. The counselor may not answer the phone. This thing is here for them. When somebody is it's the privacy of their own home and no one's around, and they finally are, ready to get help because they feel like they're safe and secure and no one can see it. This thing is there for them. This tool is there. It's available for them. And again, this is not meant to replace counseling in your church. This is not meant to be a tool where, well, we got this video library. We don't need counseling anymore. We don't need therapy anymore, or anything along those lines. But this is a great first step. This is a step that people would be willing to take when they're not willing to take that first step into a counseling session or a therapy session, when they're not really willing to admit what's going on with them yet. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up, guys. We've only gone just under 45 minutes here. I promised you today that we would not try not to go over an hour, so I've kept my word on that. Again, guys, no risk, 30 days free. You get all the bonuses for joining right now. The content here is amazing stuff. It's been created by the American Association of Christian Counselors and Tim Clinton's team. We're overjoyed at the quality of the content we've been able to create for this project. And guys, it's a tool your church can use for years to come, and it's going to improve your church counseling overnight. No matter what your counseling program is right now, this is a tool that can help improve that just immediately. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat box. Let us know. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Also, I'm going to put my email address in the chat box as well. Email address is Aaron, Aaron, @truelife.org. And, guys, I am approachable. You can reach me. I'm a real person. Shoot me an email. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. In fact, if you want to talk on the phone, shoot me an email. I'll send you back a link to my calendar. We can schedule a conversation if you have questions about anything. Happy to help you. But drop your questions in the chat right now. We'll do our best to respond to everybody. It's been an overwhelming turnout, so we're really excited to have all of you here. Thank you so much for coming and spending the time with us to see what we're doing here. I hope that this tool is just a blessing to your ministry and to your church family. And just keep us in your prayers, guys. We're really excited about all the things God's been doing in our ministry, the tools we've been creating for evangelism. Then now for this, we're working on some other stuff for discipleship. It's been an amazing journey for us over the last decade. And just keep us in your prayers, though, because it's always a struggle. Whenever you take steps forward for the kingdom, there's always a bit of a struggle there, and it's just been very, very rewarding. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close us in prayer. And don't worry, I'll stick around in the chat box for a bit here if you need us. We'll be there to answer any questions we haven't gotten to yet. But thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it. So, dear Lord, thank you so much for all the people that have joined us here today. I just pray that you would bless every single ministry represented here, regardless of whether they want to use this tool or not, or we do any kind of, we work together in any way. I just pray that you would bless each and every one of them. You see the heart of evangelism into every single ministry represented here today, and that you would bring healing to the people in every church here who needs it, especially the hidden ones who are just not willing to share the struggle they're going through, and that you would use all of these people to reach their community and their church family with the healing that only you can provide. And we say all this in your name. Amen. Well, thank you, everyone. It was wonderful to be here with you. And I just look forward to seeing what this tool is going to do. As you sign up, guys, go ahead and let us know in the chat box. If you've signed up, you said this was a tool for you, go ahead and just let us know that you've signed up. I see some people have already started to do that. Let me know. Just say, I'm in. Just tell you that's a great way to do it. Just say I'm in if you're in. Excited to see all the people joining. That's wonderful. Looks like we got some people already jumping in there, and that's great. Well, exciting. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the True Life family. Excited to have you on board. And as you're using this tool, guys, and as you start to see the stories that are going to come out of this, because people are going to approach you out of the blue after using this tool. I believe this. They're going to approach you out of the blue and they're going to tell you the thing that they were dealing with, right? Somebody's going to have someone walk out of their church and tell them that, I was on the verge of suicide, or someone's going to walk out of their church and tell them that they were thinking about getting a divorce, or someone's going to have someone come to their church and just talk about how they've been, struggling with anxiety and stress, and what a difference this tool has made for them. And we want to hear those too. We want to hear those stories too. So as you start to get those stories in, please share them with us. We want to know. The exciting thing about creating a tool like this is that it has so much potential to go into the world and do so much good. But the thing about it is that unless you guys tell us, we won't get to be a part of that celebration. So please, as that happens, inform us, keep us informed. As you come up with additional ideas for counseling topics that you don't think are represented, let us know too. We're here to help. I think that we've got so many categories right now. It's kind of mind-boggling. I think it feels like we cover everything, right? But there's got to be something out there that would be useful. So let us know about that as well. We love to hear from you guys. We love to hear from all the pastors involved in what we're doing. And with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and drop off here and just dismiss everybody who's waiting for me to leave. You're in. That's awesome. Excited. Welcome to the family. I'll stick around on chat for a little bit here so that we can make sure that any unanswered questions do get answered. But have a good day, guys. Thanks for joining us.